Chalo. And now, and here you can see. Now everything we can see. It is set up at okay. Well, setup is okay. Salam, Habibi. How are you? I hope you're fine. It is me, Michaela Santa. I am here with you. According with titles, yes, we are roasting Almas Jacob now in the topics of the earthquakes. And now recently here we can see here was a video in YouTube. Here Almas Jacob discussed about the earthquakes. Now, first of all, here we can see these points. Now, eye contents and comments. And now, some comments state me that why I am against Alma Jacobs. And now, let's check out the points. Now, here we can see. Well, now, let's check out the point. Here is the source is YouTube Israel. Okay. And now, the Alma Jacob video title is 2026 earthquake are not coming soon. Uh, I mean, 2026 earthquake are not coming slow. Bible legal prophecies. Okay. Now let's check at the moments. Now what is the point that is here in the timestamp of 4 minutes 32 seconds? Here Alma Jacob's statement is when the disciple of Jesus Christ asked him for a sign, what will be the sign of your comings? Here Jesus Christ give them signs and states, here the great earthquakes shall be the different places. Yeah, well, in the timestamp or 4 minutes 43 seconds, Almas Jacob's statement is mean that will be big storm everywhere. This is not normal. We must remember that this is the sign Jesus Christ spoke of during his the second coming. It is the sign then it is the coming in the ends. And where and what okay. Then why are the huge earthquake occupied? So understanding the reasons. The reasons is that well, America, the United States Air Force contains and document that was published in 1996 called Weathers as a Force Multiplier owning in the weather in 2025, which means that they had a plans by 2025. The United States Air Force had a plan that we okay what's the cases now we need to control the weathers. We need to gain the control over the weathers in futuristic research proper explorings. Okay, now in these cases what is the points of the moments? In that case, Alma Jacob states that here United States of America is the country to research about the artificial earthquake systems. That is the statement of United States of America. I mean that is the statement of Alma Jacobs. And now here we can see, here is the points. Now when the topic is about the Jesus Christ, when the way to the heavens, Jesus Christ did not cross the 2000 years yet. I mean 2000 light years yet. Now here coming to the point about earthquakes. Today's is about artificial earthquake terrorism, where the proxy wars, one side is Israel and another side is Bangladeshi terrorists. And now in these cases, well, now today's live stream topic is victim Israel versus culprit Bangladeshi terrorist. Now Israel is a Jewish country and Bangladeshi terrorist is a Muslim country. And now, in these cases, why Almas Jacob state her points about the Jesus Christ symbols of the second returns as an earthquake in different place. We contains and no conclusions at the points at a hence we can ask that why Almas Jacob state that. But now let's check at the moments, and here we can see. So now in this cases, well, in here is the moments. It is the earthquake Israel reports, and now I contents and customs. Well, custom earthquake magnitude would be 7 increments. Now let's check this. What is the result? Now in this cases here, February 6, 2023, morning 12 o'clock. Hello there, how are you? Doing today? Now someone states here, King's Demons states, hello there, how are you doing today? Okay, I am fine. Well, now let's come into the topics. Now in this cases here, February 6, 2023, here afternoon 12 o'clock, 24 minutes past, here was an earthquake in Haifa, near to Haifa, the city of Israel, with a magnitude of 7.5. Well, in the similar days, here at the morning 3 o'clock, well, it is another earthquake in the magnitude of 7.8. And now, here we can see, someone stated that brothers, how are you? Yes, I am fine. Well, but okay, why I am wearing mask? Well, now in these cases, English pronounce. Oh my gosh! Now you can see this points. You can consider me a Bengali, but now here my audience is some audiences now Indians and some audiences now Pakistani, and now some audiences United States. Well, hence I speak English. But now here we can see someone illustrated why I cover my face. Well, I am not in a faceless. Okay, now let's take at the moments at the points. Now in these cases, accordance with Haifa, the capital city of Israel's earthquake reports, it is clear that an earthquake was an artificial earthquake. Now, before February 6, 2023, as the earthquake report of the Israel with the magnitude of 7.5. Now let's check it. Where was the artificial earthquake practice in Bangladesh? Now let's check it the points. I contains the second reports at the moment. Well, where are you from? I am from Saudi Arabia. Okay. Now let's check it the points. Now we can see. Now here is in Bangladesh earthquake reports, and here custom is here magnitude would be 6 increments. Okay. Now let's check at the points to be notified. Well, now in these cases, we can notify here we can see in November 26, 2021 at Bangladeshi times morning. Yes, it is morning 5 o'clock 45 minutes past. Here was an earthquake with the magnitude of 6.2. Well, and the center was near to the Chittagong. Okay, and now in April 6, 2021, here was an earthquake with the magnitude of 6. And now in these cases, In August 24, 2016, here was an earthquake with a magnitude of 6.8, and here in August 14 is Apple guys. Well, in 2016, well, 2 days earlier from the Indian Independence Day, here was an artificial earthquake with a magnitude of 6.9. And now in these cases, here was the points to be noticed. The here we can see that was the significant point. So in 2016, here was the several artificial earthquake were in Bangladesh as a practice to conduct an artificial earthquake attack on Israel, where as a practice artificial earthquake in Bangladesh with the magnitude of 6.9. And now when the final attacks on Israel in February 6, 2023, and here artificial earthquake attacks on what? In this cases, artificial earthquakes attacks, terrorist attack with the magnitude to be 7.8. And now let's check at the points. And in these cases, here we could notify that why I can state that that is the artificial earthquake attacks. Now in this moments here we can see, let's back to the Israel. Okay, now let's check at the moments. And here we can see I am from Israel. Good. And now, mashallah, subhanallah, alhamdulillah. And may Allah protect Israel, of course. Well, now let's check at the moments. That is the moment. Now let's coming to the points. Well, and now here we can see when the earthquakes magnitude is 7.8, and what is the energy of artificial earthquake? Now here we can see, we know the equation of earthquake is earthquake energy would be 10 to the power bracket of 1.5 can be multiplied by here 7.8. And now let's check at the moments. Well, and now in these cases, what is the artificial earthquake energies? That would be here 501 balance, 187 millions, 233,627.273. As a round figure, that is almost 502 billion joules. Is the calculations of artificial earthquake on Haifa with a magnitude of 7.8. And now in these cases, what's the moment at the points? And in this here, what is the chemicals? The chemicals is artificial earthquake, nuclear chemical with the specific heat of 16,000 joule per kilogram per Kelvin, with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. And now in these cases, here we can see that is the points to be noted. Well, here is as a result we could got that here 4.71 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 662 kilograms of artificial earthquake nuclear chemicals with a temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius with the specific heat to be 16,000 joule per kilograms per Kelvin would be required to generate an artificial earthquake with the temperature of 7.8. I repeat, artificial earthquake with the magnitude of 7.8. And that is the significant moment comes at the points. And now in these cases, here is my questions that now in Bangladesh 2016, here was a major earthquake, artificial earthquake with the magnitude of 6.9. And now In 2023, here is a major earthquake in is Haifa, the city of Israel, with the magnitude of 7.8, or it would be near to the Haifa, the city of Israel. And now, and here we can see, now here is the questions that who is the generator of artificial earthquake terrorism. And here we in that terms, first of all we have to check the parts in the 2016 and in 2023 who was the Prime Minister of Bangladesh. And now here we can see, well, now it is the shocking moments, and the shocking moments is the to be significance that points. Here shocking moment is that here was an Sheikh Hasina, the daughter of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, was the Prime Minister in from the calendar 2009 to the calendar 2024. And in these cases, well, what is the practice? Artificial earthquake practice. That the practice was, well, August 14, 2016, and here August 24, 2016. And the third practice was August 26, 2021. And fourth practice was November 26, 2021. That was the period when Sheikh Hasina was the Prime Minister of Bangladesh in 2009 to 2024. And here we can see these points. And in 2023, here Sheikh Hasina was Prime Minister in Bangladesh. And now in these cases, Israel contends, and Israel is the victim of artificial earthquake with the magnitude of 7.8. At the second earthquake, where first earthquake was with the magnitude of 7.5. And now in these cases, well, here is the probable points. The Bangladeshi terrorists were involved to conduct an artificial earthquake terrorist attack in Israel or the near to Israel. And now that is the significant points, and that would be the concerns. But now our honorables brothers, our honorable stupid sister Almas Jacob states here, America is researching on the America is planning on artificial earthquakes, according with the statements of Almas Jacobs. And now in these cases, here is the significant points. Artificial earthquake. Now here is no conclusions that America did create the artificial earthquakes, and there is no evidence. But well, we can see in 2023, Sheikh Hasina was the were accountable to generate an artificial earthquake terrorist attack on Haifa, the city of Israel. But now let's check it. After 2024, particularly August 5, 2024, when Sheikh Hasina Prime Minister regime has been fall. Now let's check at the moments. What what is happening in the points? And now let's check it. In these moments, here we can see there was a significant falls, as we could see. Well, now when the custom is a magnitude to be 6 increment in Israel earthquakes, here we could notify the last earthquake was near to Haifa, the city of Israel, was February 30, 2023. Okay. Now let's check at the moments. Now in these cases there was an August 12, 2024. Here is an earthquake with the magnitude of 5.2. Well, November 12, 2025. Here is an earthquake with the magnitude of 5.2. November 12, 2025. Here is an earthquake of magnitude 5.3. And now, what is the moments 24 years earlier? And now you can see here I would check the details. Well, August 3, 2026, there is an earthquake with the magnitude of what? Okay. Now let's, that is the here magnitude of the 5. Okay. Now let's check the moments at the, well, 5. And now let's check the points to be noticed. And now we can see these points. Well, before the fall of Sheikh Hasina regimes, here is the point that nobody knows that here artificial earthquake would exist. Here nobody would know. Because when Iranian revolutionary terrorists was in the program of nuclear weapons to missile attacks or to the B-word planes attacks, is the nuclear programs of Iranian revolutionary terrorist laboratory. But here the artificial earthquake is not thinking is not possible in that point. But when Sheikh Hasina's Prime Minister regime has been false, everybody of us knows that every earthquake was generated by Bangladeshi. Okay. Now in this cases, here we can see the response August 3, 2026. Here the earthquake with the magnitude of 5. Everybody knows here Bangladeshi terrorists is one involved under the princess of the Bangladeshi Prime Minister Tarek Jia to be Jaima Jia. And now let's take the points. Here is the difference between Sheikh Hasina versus Jaima Jia. And now what is the difference between Sheikh Hasina versus Jaima Jia? Now let's take the points about the moments. Well, Jaima Rahman Jia. Okay. Now in this case is Jaima Rahman Jia. Well, now where Jaima Rahman Jia is easily exposed as a Bangladeshi terrorist supreme leaders to conduct an artificial earthquake terrorism. Sheikh Hasina could easily hide. Sheikh Hasina could easily hide her recognitions as an Bangladesh artificial earthquake Bangladeshi terrorist supreme leaders. And now let's take the moments. Here we can see. Now coming to the facts about the moments, what was happened in the significant terms. Well, now here we can see. Let's back to the points. Here February 6, 2023. And now in these cases, what's the moment at the points? Now we can see the Bangladeshi guys, and here we can see 4 Bangladeshi terrorists. Well, travel would be from Tungipara, the city of Bangladesh, to Haifa, the city of Israel. And now in these cases, when the topic of occurs, what would be the driving routes? Here driving route is 14,712 kilometers, well 870 meters. And now as a round figures, what is the driving distance? The driving distance would be 15,000 kilometers. And now in this cases, here we can see this is the points about the 15,000 kilometers at the moment. 15,000 kilometers as a driving distance of the car of 5 Bangladeshi terrorists. And now let's check at the points. Here departure time would be morning 6 o'clock. Well, February 6, 2023, and the arrival time would be morning 6 o'clock, 1 second past, February 3, 2026. And now in these cases, what is the travel velocity, driving velocity? That would be 15,000 km per second. Okay. Now let's check the ones I contains 2 minutes to be back. Okay. And now here we can see the points of everything is okay. And now let's check at the moments when here we can see this driving distance is 15,000 kilometers and travel time would be 1 second and driving velocity is 15,000 kilometers. Everybody knows that. And now in these cases, here is the times to be noticed. And now here is the questions that what would happen at the points. Well, in this now velocity has been calculated. Here travel time has been calculated. And now let's check at the points. What would be the kinetic energy of Bangladeshi terrorist cars to conduct an artificial earthquake on Haifa, the city of Israel, with the magnitude of 7.8. Here we can say that's one. Now let's take it the moments. But now here is the points when travel time is 1 second. Now what is the definition of velocity? The definition of velocity would be calculated distance. Okay. And hence 15,000 when travel time is 1 second, 15,000 kilometers per second is actually 15,000 kilometers. And in this cases here what is the meaning of 15,000 kilometers? That would be here 15 multiplied by 10 to the power 6 meter as a traveled driving distance. Now what is the driving distance square? That is 225 multiplied by 10 to the power 12 meter squares. Because here 6 multiplied by 2 is 12 and 15 square is 225. And in these cases, now here is the significant points that would be notified. Now we can see what is the half of weight of Bangladeshi terrorist car? That would be almost 1,000 kilograms. And now in these cases, half of weight of Bangladeshi terrorist car is 1,000 kilograms. And in these points, here is the moments. What would be the kinetic energy method to calculate kinetic powers of Bangladeshi terrorist cars driving journey from Tungipara, the city of Bangladesh, to Haifa, the city of Israel. Here we can see the method of kinetic power method would be Englander Christian Isaac Newton's kinetic powers methods. And now in these cases, here is the moments that would be significant points. And here we can see, well, what is the kinetic powers equation according to Isaac Newton's method? That will be half of weight of Bangladeshi terrorist car multiplied by velocity square divided by travel time is the equation of kinetic powers. But when travel time is 1 second, and here when travel time is 1 second, definition of velocity is the calculated distance. Hence, equations becomes here half of weight of Bangladeshi terrorist cars multiplied by distance square. And now here calculations becomes 1,000 kilograms multiplied by 225 multiplied by 10 to the power 12. Now in this cases, what is 12 sum by 3, that is 15. Hence, the Bangladeshi terrorist car's kinetic travel kinetic energy is 225 multiplied by 10 to the power 15 joules. And that would, now we know 15, the meaning of 15 is 6 sum by 9. Hence, here is the notice, the kinetic powers would be here 225 balance megawatts. And now, in these cases, here we have discussed the kinetic powers. And now, here is the questions. What would be the kinetic powers? What would be Bangladeshi terrorist cars? Fuel volumes, where fuel would be petrols, accordance with the choice of Sheikh in 2023, because Sheikh was the Prime Minister of Bangladeshi terrorist organization in 2023. And now in these cases, here is the significant points. What is the notifiers? In 2023, here we can see. Well, now let me contest a breath. And here we go. Here, the calculations of volume is 225 multiplied by 10 to the power 15 to be divided by bracket of 2 multiplied by 50 multiplied by 0.7778. Now here we can see the what is petrol specific heat, that would be here 2 joule per kilogram per Kelvin. And what is petrol density, that would be here 0.7778 kilogram per liters. On the other hand, what is here petrol automobiles highest temperature difference, that would be 50 degrees Celsius. And in these cases, here is the point, what is 2 multiplied by 50, that is 100. And in this points here, when 2 multiplied by 50 is 100, here calculations becomes, well, almost 225 multiplied by 10 to the power 15 to be divided by bracket of 100 multiplied by 0.7778 bracket close. And now that is the meaning of the calculation to be 225 multiplied by 10 to the power 13 can be divided by 0.7778. And now in these cases, what is the fuel volumes at the points, that would be the significant radius moments. Okay. Now in this cases, that would be the points to 225 multiplied by 10 to the power 13. Okay. Now in this cases, 225 multiplied by 10 to the power 13, that can be divided by what? Here we can see that can be divided by here 0.7778. And now let's check at the moments where we can see this points. Okay. Yes, in these cases, here we can see that is almost 3 quadrillion liters of petrols, and that would require almost 6 quadrillion United States dollars. And now here we can see this points. Here is no tensions about the Bangladeshi debts. Well, that is not tensions. And now here in these cases, in the cost of 15 trillion, I have guessed it is almost 15 quadrillion United States dollars. Okay, now let me take a breath. Well, 6 quadrillion United States dollars cost on 3 quadrillion liter of petrols. It is the clear cut the points. That was the moments. Bangladeshi terrorists would reach to hyper the city of Israel with the velocity of 15,000 km per second with a travel time of 1 second to contact an artificial earthquake terrorist and attacks with the magnitude of 7.8. And now this is the significant rise, and now that is the clear cut moments. And now in these cases, here is the point. So well, whereas 4.71 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 662 kilograms of artificial earthquake uh, um, nu- nuclear chemicals with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius with the specific heat of 16,000 joule per kilogram per Kelvin, Bangladeshi terrorists under the command of Sheikh Hasina in 2023 would arrange? That is the questions. And now here we can see the simple answer would be that at the one calculations. Now in 2026, Bangladeshi Prime Minister Tarek Zia open just open here Rupur nuclear electric power plants, and in the establishment process was under Bangladeshi Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina from 2009 to 2024. And now in this case is the moments, and here we can see. Well, now let's take the points, and here is the calculations times. Okay, now let's check it. Well, Rupur nuclear electricity and power plant under Sheikh Hasina. Well, and now let's check at the moments. Well, we could see the Rupur nuclear power plants development championed by Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, the Bangladesh first nuclear power project designed to generate 2400 megawatts of electricity with the Russian assistance. And now, well, why where Russian assistance is involved? Here I would mention laterly. But now let's take at the moments. Now, when Tarek Zia is the Prime Minister of Bangladesh in 2026, now let's check it. What is an Malaysian earthquake reports? In this case, accordance with the Malaysian earthquake reports, here we can see these points. Well, and now here I can see that would be here June 8, 2026. Well, here we can see these points. Malaysia contains artificial earthquake with the magnitude of 7.8. That was the that is the political geopolitical attack of Bangladeshi terrorists on Malaysia. And now let's take the moments. And what would be the points or to be noticed? Well, here we can see there's the points here we can notify. Well, what would be the energy of artificial earthquake with the magnitude of 7.8? Oh my Adonai! Here I contains the calculations as an artificial earthquake on Haifa, city of Israel, and here we can see that was 4.71 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 662 kilograms of artificial earthquake nuclear chemicals with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius, and with the specific heat of 16,000 joule per kilogram per Kelvin. But now here we can see, now in these cases, irony is that here, when the topics about artificial earthquakes, where victim is Israel and the okay. In this cases, here we can see the irony. Here irony is that victim is Israel and the culprit is Bangladeshi terrorist. Well, the artificial earthquake on Israel with the magnitude of 7.8 containing date is here February 6, 2026 when Sheikh was the Prime Minister of Bangladeshi terrorist, and now Sheikh was trying to establish the Rupur nuclear electricity power plants, and now in these cases, what is the here Almas states that artificial earthquake was generated by United States of America. And now let's check at the moments. Well, and here we can see this the points to be noted. Well, now in this cases here is a notification saying 7.1 magnitude earthquake hits on Eastern Malaysia. That is the report, news report shown by Almas. But now we could notify when we could check the points. Here is a catch, and that is in geopolitical crimes of Bangladeshi terrorists. And now, what is the geopolitical crimes of the Bangladeshi terrorist? Here we can see. Now let's check at the points. Well, now here I could notify here the top. It is about Turkish news articles, and here here is one option is politics, another option is Turkey. Okay, Turkey is good. The third option is war on Gaza. Fourth option is BIZ text. Fifth option is infographics. Next option is features. Next option is opinions, and the next option is a war on Iran. Now it is the Turkish news media that covers the news about war that covers the news on Gaza and Iran. Now let's check at the points. Here we could see the pro-Palestine Turkish certainly calculated the magnitude of 7.1 of the magnitude to be of earthquakes in Eastern Malaysia. That was the same Turkish media who wants Sharia law in the entire Middle East. They want Sharia law in England, they want Sharia law in Germany, they want Sharia law in Paris and France. Even they want Sharia law in Spain. And now, they want Sharia law in Argentina, and they want Sharia law in Mexico. And they want Sharia law in Australia, and they want Sharia law in Canada. And here, the following Turkish media would probably support the protest Sharia law movements in European countries and Australian continents and North American continents. But now, here we can see the Turkish media to support Sharia law. How can the Turkish media of Sharia law calculate the earthquake magnitude to be 7.1 in Eastern Malaysia? That is the significant points to notice. And this is the points that, here is the hint to see the earthquake with the magnitude of 7.1 in Eastern Malaysia was completely an artificial earthquake terrorist attack conducted by Bangladeshi terrorists. And now, in these cases, we can see, now let me check that who was the terrorist. supreme leaders. And now let's check it. What was the cases at the moment? Well, 1 minute reads, and in these cases, that was here almost August 17. Probably it would be clear that points in that cases who was the current Bangladeshi terrorist to contact an artificial earthquake terrorist attack on eastern Malaysia. That would be here Bangladeshi terrorist Jaima Jia, the princess of Bangladeshi President Tarek Jia. I apologize, Bangladeshi Prime Minister Tarek Jia. Okay, now let's check out the points. And now in this case, when here we could see how can I state here Eastern Malaysian earthquake with the magnitude of 7.1 would be artificial earthquakes. There is the process at the moment. So now let's check it. What's going on? And in this cases, here we can see, well, I apologize. Here, earthquake energy, when the earthquake magnitude would be 7.1 in eastern Malaysia, here earthquake energies would be here 10 to the power bracket of 1.5 multiplied by 7.1. Well, enter times the bracket close. That means that would be here 44 billions. Well, 668 millions 359,215.1 joules as a round figure. That would be 45 billions joules as a energy of artificial earthquake on eastern Malaysia with the magnitude of 7.1. And now let's check what is the weight of the chemical to contact an artificial earthquake where chemicals specific heat would be, well, 16,000 joule per kilogram per Kelvin, and here temperature would be 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. And now in these cases, well, here the weight is almost 4.2 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 663 kilograms of artificial earthquake nuclear chemicals with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius with the specific heat to be 16,000 joule per kilogram per Kelvin. And now in these cases, here we can see these points. Well, now here is the moments. Artificial, in these cases, geopolitical Islamic rivalities was between Bangladeshi terrorists versus Malaysia and underworld. And in these cases, here is the points. Bangladeshi terrorists want to test her artificial earthquake terrorist capability in here eastern Malaysia, that when the artificial earthquake can contain the magnitude to be 7.1 or not. And now that is their significant threats for Israel and I mean not only Israel but also the entire Europe continents, entire Australia continents and entire North American continents. But in these cases, in the live streams, I would mention here that it is the great threat for Israel. Because in these cases, well, artificial earthquake in eastern Malaysia with the magnitude of 7.1 can be published in Turkish pro-Palestinian news media, and that is the significant concern modes. Okay, and now let's take at the points. Here is another topic at the moments. Well, now we can see. Now, now here we can. Now it is the point of what if would be artificial earthquake. Well, now here now let's check the statements. What it would be the artificial earthquakes in eastern Malaysia? Huh. Now here is a reply in the statement of Almas Jacobs, but I do not know it is the real reply or false reply. Like, okay, in the timestamp of 6.4, I mean 6 minutes 40 seconds. But you should notice that if we are, it were true that could cause the earthquakes. If they would actually cause them, they can now. By now, Israel and America would have destroyed all of its enemy nations, included Russia, by launching an firestorm. It would have destroyed them. It would have ruined them, and Israel would have destroyed all its enemy nations and sending floods because, well, these people could not reproduce. Okay, and now it is the points of now it is the statement of Almas Jacob between timestamp of 6 minutes 40 seconds to the timestamp of 6 minutes 54 seconds. And now here we can see there is the moments at the points. Well. Now here we can see this point. So well, now here we can see Israel contents and reputations as a militaries. Israel contents reputations. The reputation is that Israel does not attack on civilians. That is the reputation of Israel. Okay, now I contest 2 minutes. Okay. Now in this, now here I would test the points. In this case, there's 7. Well, Israel does not attack on civilians. They attack only the military tactics of Iranian revolutionary terrorists, and they attack on the military headquarters. And now in this case, the February 28, 2026, here is the point. Iranian revolutionary terrorist Ali Khamenei has been eliminated by Israeli F-16 fighter planes with the velocity of 260,000 km per second, where Ali Khamenei has been eliminated in first 5 seconds out of the 45 days wars. And now that is a great achievement. And in this cases, here we can see, well, Iranian revolutionary terrorists claims that they have eliminated 600 Israeli constables, army constables. Now we can see those points where 600 Israeli constables can be eliminated, and one Iranian revolutionary person has been eliminated. Now in these cases, when Israel death casualty is 600 Israeli army constables deaths, where in the entire of 45 deaths, where last 100 can be eliminated by Iranian revolutionary terrorists in 40 days of the in the first 40 days of the 45 days wars. But Iranian revolutionary terrorist supreme leader Ali Khamenei has been eliminated in first 5 seconds. Now, who is the highest capable countries? Iran or Israel? Of course, Israel is the highest capable, and Iran's revolutionary claims is always false. And in these cases, the moments, here is the time to notice. Well, now we can see Israel does not attack on Iranian revolutionary terrorist civilians. That is the reputation of Israel. But now here we can see what is the definition of terrorism. We can see that the definitions of terrorism is well, no, the definition of terrorism is eliminating the innocent civilians in the without any law. I mean, the definition of terrorist is unlawful violence on innocent civilians, but in the purpose of politics, geographical, and religions. And that is it is the definition of terrorism. And now we can see the why we mention the Iranian revolutionary terrorist. In this case, this Iranian revolutionary terrorist is defines the Iranian revolutionary militants to conduct unlawful violence on innocent civilians of Israel in the purpose of the religions. Okay. And now we can see those points. What is the Bangladeshi terrorist? What is the definition of Bangladeshi terrorist? Bangladeshi terrorist is the definition of Bangladeshi terrorist is the definitions of the Bangladeshi military to conduct an unlawful violence on the innocent civilians, to be Indians or Americans or Chinese, in the purpose of the religious cases. And now in this cases the points, now the violence on innocent civilians is unlawful. Both of Israel and America know. And now in these cases unlawful violence of Israel applicants, unlawful violence is a crime. And in these cases why Israel would attack conduct an artificial earthquake attacks on Iran when there would be an civilians in Iranian revolutionary country? That is the question. It is here behavior questions. Well, but Almas Jacobs does not know that what is the behaviors. Here we can see Almas Jacobs does not know that her statement about artificial earthquakes plans related to Israel cannot be matched by Israeli behaviors. But on the other hand, here we can see it can match with the Bangladeshi behaviors. I mean Bangladeshi terrorist behaviors. And here is the reasons here of Nugpur nuclear electricity power plants has been established by Bangladeshi Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina from 2009 to 2024, and here we go. That was disclosed by Bangladeshi Prime Minister Tarek Zia, where now we can see the points. Bangladeshi terrorist Jama Zia is practicing the artificial earthquake terrorism in the eastern Malaysia with the magnitude of 7.1. And now here we can see that that is the points of matching points. Okay. Now let's check at the moments what would be the significant points. Well, now let's check it. Now when the topic is about Eastern Malaysia, okay, here is the my one point. Well, practicing on Eastern Malaysia is the symbol said the target would be here Australia. Okay, now let's check at the moments. Well, what is the travels of Bangladeshi terrorists private planes under the commands of Jamazia, the Bangladeshi terrorist leaders. That would be the clear covered points. Okay, now here we can see. Departure would be, what is the departure? In this cases, departure would be Barisal, the city of Bangladesh. Okay, now, well, now we can see arrival is where? And here you can see the response. Arrival is so Kuala Lumpur, the capital city of Malaysia. Okay. Now in this cases, here we can see we are going to calculate that. That would be definitely a calculation as in flying planes, and it would not be here calculated as an driving routes. And now here we can see Bandar Seri. Okay. Now it is the points of Bandar Seri, Brunei, now, or you can see Bin Tulu. Bin Tulu, the city of Malaysia. Okay. Now we can see the points here as insignificant moments. Well, it is clear that points. Now I do not know that was okay. Now we can see here distance, flying distance is 3267 kilometers, 590 meters. As a round figure, that would be here 3300 kilometers. We can condense census in round figure as in 4000 kilometers. And now let's get the points. Flying distance is 4000 kilometers and flying the velocity is 4000 kilometers per second. That means their flying timing would be 1 second. And in these cases, departure from Dhaka, Bangladesh should be morning 6 o'clock, August 1st, 2026, and arrival on Bin Tulu, the city of Malaysia, would be morning 6 o'clock, 1 second past, August 1st, 2026, to practice an artificial earthquake terrorism with the magnitude of 7.1. And in these cases, here we go, that is the August borders. And now, when travel time is 1 second, your velocity is the calculated distance. Hence, that would be here 4000 kilometers as a distance. That means 4 multiplied by 10 to the power 6 meters. Now, what is your distance square? That is 16 multiplied by 10 to the power 12 meters square. Now, in this case, the half of weight of Bangladeshi terrorist private planes under the command of Bangladeshi terrorist Jamazia would be 100,000 kilograms. That means 10 to the power 5 kilograms. And now, here is the points. 10 to the power 5 kilograms. Now, what is meaning of the? And in this cases, what will be the kinetic powers calculations? That would be here 10 to the power 5 multiplied by 16 multiplied by 10 to the power 12, and that it would be here when 5 sum by 12 can be 17. And here we can see kinetic powers would be 1.6 trillion megawatts. Okay. And now let's check at the points. Here is the calculations that what is the fuel volumes where fuel to be petrol by the chosen by Bangladeshi terrorist Jamajia. Here we can see, let's calculate the fuel volumes as a petrol volumes. And now we can see the points. The calculation is 16e multiplied by 10 to the power 17e can be divided by bracket of 100 multiplied by 0.778 bracket close. That means here we can see the calculation would be 16e multiplied by 10 to the power 15e can be divided by 0.778. And now let's check it. What is the significant results? And now here significant results is the cut of surprisings at the moment. 16e multiplied by 10 to the power 15e, that can be divided by what? Here that can be divided by 0.778. And now here we can see what is the results. Here result is completely about 20.6 quadrillions liters of petrol is approved by Bangladeshi terrorist Jamajia. And now in this cases that is almost the cost to be 41.2 quadrillions United States dollars as a expenditure cost of 20.5 average 20.6 quadrillions liters of petrol for a practice of Bangladeshi terrorist in artificial earthquake terrorism practice in eastern Malaysia, where the travel velocity is 4,000 kilometers by the private jet of Bangladeshi terrorists, and here velocity is 4,000 kilometers per second with the travel time to be 1 second. And now that is here the significant points to be noticed. Now in these cases, here we can see when the earthquake would be caused at a with a magnitude of 7.1, or that would be here 8.1, or that would be here 9.1. Here we can see here is a casualty of millions innocent civilians in the earthquake victim countries. And now here is the question. This behavior does not match with Israel. This behavior does not match with America. But here this behavior match with Sheikh and this behavior match with Bangladeshi terrorist Jamajia. And here is my question is that, well, here we can see the points to be noticed. Why Bangladeshi terror, why Almas states that America is planning to conduct an artificial earthquake. There is no research to support Almas statements. But here is my personal research to be against the statement of Almas that I have mentioned. And now here we can see now I would show the ironies. And here we can see, well, now let me frankly tell you some things. Okay. Now here we can see, here is the comments. And now comment is significant threats. Okay. Now we can see the points. Well, it is here a crazy girl. A channel name is Crazy Girls. Well, and now joint is August 1st, 2026. That means that channel was not does not exist in July 25, 2026. But she said that Almas is a real man of God. Where the following content was actually to roast Georgia Maloney In the topic of Merry Christmas, special artificial earthquake would under the planning of Bangladeshi terrorists Hasnat Abdullah and Tasnim Jara. Okay, now let's check the points. And here is another comment to support Almas Jacob from the channel named Jesus Christ. Why you are against the Almas brother? Where the following content was a short video, the two promotions of fundamentalist empire roast. And now here you can see these points. Now in these cases, the channel was created in August 11, 2026. Well, accordance with the age of their channels, here we can see, accordance with the age of their channels, these channels was created at the, what is the current dates at the moment? Here we can see these points. Well, just I can wait 1 minute. Well, the current date is August 19, 2026, and they are in the Israeli times. Well, evening 4 o'clock, 48 minutes past. And now, today is August 19, 2026. And the supporters of Almas Jacobs channel was created in August 11th, 2026. And that means her age is almost, what is her age? Her age is almost 8 days. But they ask me why I am against Almas Jacob when from 2016 to 2019, I was the I was the supporters of Almas Jacob, and in 2019 to 2026, I started to roast Almas Jacob in 7 years. That means here I have an audience. I have been audience of Almas Jacob in 2016 to 2026. I mean 10 years. And the following commentators to support Almas Jacob to comment in my channels, age is 8 days. And now they just did not think that what is the reality of Almas Jacob. I have checked the reality of Almas Jacob. Now in the future times, Almas Jacob reality would be changed. I do not know. Now let's watch in the futures. Okay, now let's check at the moments. And in this cases, now Almas Jacob's opinions to state against United States well, now here we can see Almas Jacobs content is now stating the several illogical points about United States governments with the relations of artificial earthquakes. And now we can Almas Jacob states here Jesus Christ would be back when with the symbols of the several earthquakes in different places. But reality is, so here we can see, we know the artificial earthquake would be under the planning of Bangladeshi terrorists. Well, where target is Israel and practice is in Malaysia. But here we can see Almas Jacob was target in Almas Jacob said is Jesus Christ would be back as a second returns, where Jesus Christ did not cross the 2000 light years, where the distance between earth and the kingdom of heaven is triple six multiple by 10 to the power triple six light centuries. And now, who knows what would be the next moments, and who knows that what would be the next points. Okay? See you then, Khudafez. Love you. And now, I think in the next parts, I would discuss about the Katrina Tikhonova. Here, Katrina Tikhonova is the woman to be Russian scientist under the project of Rupur Nuclear Electricity Centers. And now we can see, in Bangladesh, here is a lack of, here we can see, in 10 minutes, here is an electricity crisis in 10 minutes. Now, in electricity crisis of the 10 minutes, here, as an say, you can notify, now here is 4 hours electricity is normal in Dhaka, the capital city of Bangladesh, when Bangladesh is still the poorest country of the world. Now 4 hours electricity crisis is normal, but Rupur nuclear power plants is on the process, and on the operationals. And now, what is the meaning of that? And here we can see that's the point that I suppose my statement is correct. Here, Muslim country Bangladeshi terrorists contacts and attacks on Israel. Muslim Bangladeshi terrorists contacts an artificial earthquake terrorism in Israel, where the scientist, Russian scientist is Katrina Tikhonova. Okay. Now the next live stream is about the toxic feminism. Okay.